So you guys might have noticed the irregular amount of plane crashes that have been happening. Well, there's also something that's been happening more than often, it seems like to me, and that's teachers being caught having sexual relationships with their students. If you just Google teachers being caught sleeping with students 2025, every link they give you is going to be about a different teacher at a different school doing something with a student. Like look, Pennsylvania, California, a different city in California, West Virginia, Florida, Texas, Delaware, and if you change one word in what you search for, a whole different list pops up, and you can check the dates. These are all recent happenings. One of the most recent ones, though, hails all the way from our nation's toilet, Florida. If our country was an animal, that would be their poop. I know some people be like, it's the wiener, but no, that is shit from a butt. But a couple days ago, it came out that a Florida teacher resigned after he got caught sending one of his 11-year-old students a 2-page love letter, even saying, P.S., I'll keep our notes between us.
A Florida family is now speaking out after they say their 11-year-old daughter was given an inappropriate letter from her teacher at a Manatee County elementary school. And as Nicole Rogers reports, that teacher has since resigned and is now investigated by the school district and deputies.
This whole nightmare started when we discovered a 2-page letter.
Incredibly upsetting as a father.
As a dad, where does your mind go from there? What does that even open the door for in your head?
What can I do legally, out of frustration of being in receipt of something like this? What more could he have done to my daughter? I would ask him to take a hard look in the mirror, truly self-reflect. I would ask him to get some help.
We would want him to read the 2-page letter out loud to us as parents, and I want him to look in my husband's eyes, father to father, and read that letter.
Now, after I read you what this letter said, there is no way you are going to understand how the school board found out about this and still let this guy resign without looking into him any further. These pieces of shit won't even release the teacher's name because he didn't get charged with anything. If he's comfortable enough with sending an 11-year-old a 2-page love letter, his name being released shouldn't be an issue.
All right, we are not identifying the student for her privacy or the teacher because he has not been charged.
But here's what his love letter said. Since you made me mad the other day and made me throw away my note back to you, I guess I'll start over. I'm sorry for putting slime all over you yesterday. I thought we could have some fun together, but I didn't think you were going to get upset with me. You know I truly love you, and no matter what, that will never change. I really love being your teacher, and more importantly, I love how close we've gotten this year. We had a lot of fun this year and made memories that I will always remember. On another note, I will say it bothers me when you look directly into my eyes and lie to me. You forget that. I know you pretty well. When you put your head down, ignore me, etc., I know something is wrong. You then typically will talk to all your friends right after you tell me, I just don't feel well, which is a lie. Why do you do this to me? Now, the fact that the school board didn't immediately report this guy to the police after reading him tell an 11-year-old he truly loves them is the most Florida shit I have ever heard. This guy's writing to this girl like she's his girlfriend and he doesn't listen to her problems. But then it gets fucking creepy and he says, it bothers me when you look into my eyes and lie to me. You forget that. I know you pretty well. Is her teacher fucking Hannibal Lecter? I know you too well, Clarice, as another student eats his brains right next to her. And still, the school board did nothing but let this guy resign and go into hiding. 1,000,000% this guy's just going to leave the school district and go to any one of the other 66 that Florida has, and or just leave the state. And even then, he wasn't fired or anything. He got approved to resign, meaning that he can get a job at the next closest school and they won't even know anything. Like, he can literally do that and nobody is going to keep track of him. I wouldn't be surprised if he hasn't already started that transition already. Nobody knows his name. These schools could be getting applications for a legit predator and not even know about it. I also find it funny how he says, why did you do this to me? Like an 11-year-old ignoring him is the worst thing that could happen. This dude goes home and cries himself to sleep because the student he's grooming wants to talk to their friends and not the creepy guy who throws slime on his students. Even if it was another kid her own age, nobody wants slime on any part of their body other than their hands. But here's what the second page of the letter said. Moving on, I hope you know how much I love that you're in my class and that we've gotten so close this year. I don't think you're that weird anymore. I'm glad that you like school and I hope that I play a huge part of that. Starting today, I will try my best not to smile at you anymore. I know you hate it when I smile or are therefore happy, so I'll stop. I hope you'll write me back, but I don't expect anything. Love, the teacher's name, and then in parentheses, your favorite teacher only because I have to be. What? And then P.S. I'll keep our notes between us and won't show your friends, so you do the same. Well, he didn't say anything about not showing it to her parents, so I guess that's what he forgot to take into account. The people she goes home every day with. But I think what the mom said was right. He should have to read this in front of everyone so they can know what kind of pervert has been looking after their kids. Like, how is he going to try and guilt trip an 11-year-old? Yeah, I guess I'll stop smiling at you, only because you don't want to see me happy. This dude probably thought he was playfully smiling when he was looking at her, when he probably looked like fucking Pennywise. And it wasn't like that was the first note he sent her. He literally starts off the note by saying he made her throw away the previous note he had written. Like, he probably sent her dozens of these notes until she finally realized that this is fucking weird. Like, hey dad, did you read this? He says, I don't think you're weird anymore. He's the one writing notes to an 11-year-old. Like, the only thing the school did that was right was after finding this note, it says that they sent him to a non-instructional facility where he had no contact with students. Why wasn't it the police station to answer questions is something you're going to have to take up with the state of Florida. The state of Poopda. But actually, after looking up more information on this, I have no idea why this other news channel didn't want to say this guy's name when this other one shows his name, face, and where he worked.
But first, at 11 o'clock, concerning details about a teacher's alleged behavior. It was made public at tonight's Manatee County School Board meeting. Jarrett Williams is a former 5th grade teacher at an elementary school. ABC 7's Jordan Litwiller has more from that meeting tonight.
To the core, it shocked me.
This is horrific.
And I commend her bravery to speak up because she's probably saved a lot of other children.
This male 5th grade teacher led my 11-year-old daughter into his classroom and spent 45 minutes alone with her while the rest of the students went to the library for their specials on Valentine's Day. In my hands, I have a copy of the 2-page handwritten textbook grooming letter that was written by this teacher and given to my 11-year-old daughter.
So even after knowing that he not only wrote her notes, but took her aside for some one-on-one time to do God knows what, they still let him resign without anything happening. There's still an ongoing investigation, but he's basically free to leave and start a new life if he wants. And this lady on TikTok, Detective Author, also shows his face and more pictures that she found of him from the school's Facebook.
Now, I went onto the Facebook of Gullet Elementary and I found a lot more photos of this teacher. I've got more video of when the mom and dad approached the school board complaining about this teacher and his actions with this love letter.
Now, I actually went back and she had to go way back to find these, but this picture is still up. And I'm horrible at telling how old kids are just by looking at them, but just going off the pictures before and after this one that show the kids in his class, that only makes them letting him leave without anything happening that much more worse. Now, another good thing that happened was that apparently his file is going to get flagged for any future teaching jobs you might apply for, but then like I said, there are 66 other school districts that he could go to, and or the hundreds of thousands of school districts in the other 49 states. And I bet it won't even say what he got flagged for. They'll just have like a little asterisk, and then when they sign them, they'll be like, yeah, I caught my student passing notes, and I, jokingly wrote her a note back saying to stop. It was all miscommunication. It's nothing you gotta look more into. Trust me, take my word for it. Yeah, guys, so much to let the school know that they got a picture of an actual child predator still up on their Facebook. I'm not gonna do it until tomorrow. Peace.